There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Just under 3 years ago, I was uprooted from my home in Cokato, a small town in central Minnesota, when I received employment as an agricultural statistician in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Now, it may be inappropriate to think of myself as homeless. I do have a very nice apartment. But Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and most of all, Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Minnesota anymore. While my journey down the yellow brick Interstate 29 has been filled with munchkin good times and flying monkey bad times, like Dorothy in the 1939 classic, The Wizard of Oz, I too have been looking for my Kansas, my place to call home. My search for a brain, courage, and a heart in South Dakota has helped me on my journey to home. Even if you're never sure if the Wizard of Oz, or South Dakota, or wherever you are, will ever help you get there. Dorothy's first fork on the yellow brick road occurred at the corner of the Scarecrow, who only wanted a brain. I too have been looking for my South Dakota brain. From a young age, I have been heavily indoctrinated with Minnesota trivia. Does it really help me to know that the state muffin of Minnesota is the blueberry? Well, you never know. But in order to feel like a real South Dakotan, I have to make room for information from the Mount Rushmore state. Now, other than a big rock with some presidents carved into it, and a drugstore with free ice water, a penchant for billboards, what does South Dakota have to offer me? Well, perhaps my favorite piece of South Dakota trivia is something that I can see from my front porch. The Empire Mall in Sioux Falls is the largest shopping center between Minneapolis and Denver. Now, never mind looking at a map and trying to find anything between Minnesota and Colorado. A mall that I could walk to. Let's face it, I don't walk to the mall. Nobody walks to the mall. But a mall that I could easily walk to nonetheless holds a pretty big distinction. So while I have a long ways to go before I receive my Wizard of Oz Scarecrow diploma and become a South Dakota trivia buff, I do know that South Dakota leads the nation in the agricultural production of both bison and pheasants. So maybe I have a chance. But as Dorothy found out, simply having knowledge of the road you're on does not necessarily help you get to where you want to go. Through the scariness of lions, tigers, and bears, oh my! Our heroine met up with the cowardly lion who needed courage to take his rightful place as king of the forest. My South Dakota courage came through the ultimate recreational activity of the overweight man, bowling. A trip to the Sport Bowl bowling alley in Sioux Falls got me connected with some men from Midwest Precision, a local tool and die manufacturer. Now, joining this bowling league was one of the most interesting experiences of my life. Now, I've only witnessed a few quality games in my life, so having to bowl after a teammate who rolls a near perfect 299 is a truly knee-knocking experience. Even more exhilarating is having your newly purchased bowling shoes slip on the approach and learning that landing face first into the lane creates a loud, buzzing noise. Luckily, my teammates weren't too hard on me. The Lion received a Triple Cross medal, proclaiming him as a member of the Legion of Courage. What did I receive? A patch for my single game over 180. But the courage I have gained through joining the bowling league, as well as other organizations like Toastmasters and my local church, have made me feel more at home in South Dakota. But perhaps my quest for brains and courage has been in vain. I believe the Tin Man said it best. I shall take the heart, for brains do not make one happy, and being happy is the best thing in the world. My South Dakota heart came in the form of one of my fellow statisticians. Despite the proverbial warnings against dipping your pen in the company ink, I started dating one of my coworkers. For a summer, our courtship brought Carla and I to many interesting places around Sioux Falls, and I have never felt more comfortable in a place my entire life. But at the end of the summer, Carla received the opportunity to go to graduate school and was transferred to Ohio, 1,000 miles away. Well, actually, it's 962 driving miles according to Google Maps, but who's counting? And my connection to Sioux Falls was gone. So now, my gift from the wizard of a heart-shaped watch on a chain has been replaced by an unlimited long-distance plan and an obscene amount of knowledge about which airlines fly into Port Columbus International Airport. Someday, my heart will take me away from South Dakota to a place where Carla and I can be together. But for that one summer at least, my heart was firmly entrenched in Sioux Falls. And because of that, part of it always will be. Through the help of Glinda, the Good Witch of the North, Dorothy discovered that the power to go home had always been deep inside of her. I, too, have a little bit of South Dakota deep inside of me. My love of South Dakota trivia is my brain, my South Dakota courage through joining the local bowling team, and the girl of my dreams taking my South Dakota heart. My yellow brick Interstate 29 has been leading me to my home in South Dakota all along, and all it takes me to get there is to say, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.